I really thought about it, and I thought about it and thought about it, and I really don't want to sound too corny, but I think the word I've settled on, I think, has to be happy.
Well,
No, there's not.
this might sound strange, but in a word, which always restricts what you want to say, but in a word, I'd call it educational.
Thank you. I struggle with this for one word. God.
It was a necessity. I'd had to do it, and I don't know why, and I never thought of doing anything else.
I think it's inclusive. I hope it's inclusive.
It's a lot of things, but it's enduring, it's resilient. Well, resilient, all those things that imply we're going on. We're not going to give up. We're not going to stop at 75 years. We're going on. So what do you call that? Optimistic, resilient, enduring, all those words, yeah. It was founded in 1938 on a set of principles which came from the National Theatre movement, represented by Gertrude Johnson, who was a performer. That set of principles included having a forum for young performers, young people to develop their skills, fostering talent, fostering an interest in drama, developing audiences, developing a following, and I think the principles still hold good today.
It was like the National Theatre in Melbourne. I did classes down there for a few years. That was originally part of the same concept. Yeah, bit like other community educational institutions like mechanics institutes and all that. It was a case of the person who established that saying, right, we need to actually input into the community an opportunity for people to hone their skills and develop their skills in this particular aspect of the arts and creativity for the community.
Gee whiz, what a difference. We're standing right here now. This is where the box office used to be. So you'd walk in from the car park to the box office, buy your tickets. Of course, this wasn't here. And there were Unlike most people, I wasn't on the original committee. I was taken to the theatre, and we'll call it the Little Theatre because that was where National Theatre started in Ballarat. You'd go into a car park, as we've done before, and into the theatre, and it was a very intimate theatre. And I saw a few productions there before I actually got involved. And I wondered technically how the lights worked and how people got on and off the stage, how, from an audience participation point of view, how they put all of that together.
I think I was about 14 or 15, and my dad was really keen on theatre because he'd been an amateur actor in his young days, and we discovered the Little Theatre in Camp Street, and so we started going to plays, and that I could still see some of those performers. I can still see the lights and that feeling of, it's just... It's hard to describe, but I was hooked.
I was amazed by not just how they could learn their lines, but the movement and why they had to move in that space and why they had to face this way and all of those things. And then I learnt about how to build sets and how to work front of house and how to be involved in that. So you get a theatre experience, if you like, and that's where it becomes better and better, because you learn a bit more and then you know a bit more, and the more you know, the more you want to be involved, and the more you're involved, the better the experience. Now this is interesting in itself, because when there were two big double doors there, which we built ourselves, and this was the entranceway into the foyer before we went into the theatre. Now over here we've got the kitchen.
The little theatre was so tiny you could sit that far from the stage in the front row.
In actual fact, the kitchen is bigger than I remember. It seems to be bigger.
And you saw the makeup and you saw some of wear wigs, but it was just part of, this is another world. It's different from your everyday world. It's something to aspire to.
We fitted a lot in this little space, of course. But I think this might be the same. I think this was the original, still here. Still here.
And some comical things like they had these canvas back seats, the high-wide seats, and the backs were made of canvas. So if somebody leaned back, you'd sort of shoot forward.
And the stage, which was here, let's say about here, that, keep in mind that wall wasn't there, that was built on the old wooden fruit boxes.
It was a great little place, and I'm sure still a lot of people have great fond memories of it.
How did primary school finish up?
Oh, quite well.
Well, how do you think you'll go on your exams?
All right.
All right?
I'm quite clever, really.
Are you now?
Would you like some cake, Ron?
Oh, yes, please.
I'll get you a nice big slice.
Thank you.
I'm not surprised. Your father wants you to go on at school.
I know.
Can we just stop there for a sec? Can you say that less hesitantly? Because you've thought about this before, so you're quite definite. You want to go on. Yep. Okay. Just, do you want to go from, I'm quite clever, really? Yep. Okay.
I'm quite clever, really.
Are you now?
Would you like some cake, Ronnie?
Oh, yes, please.
I'll get you a nice big slice.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Well, I have to
Your
say,
father wants
I've
you to
never
go on
worked
after
with a
I know.
group in any of the plays I've been in
I'd like to.
at BNT that were not professional in attitude. When you're an amateur actor, what you do is you go to work all day, you come to rehearsal tired, you might not have eaten, and you still know your lines and you still put in and you still do what you... So in many ways, amateur actors are as committed to what they're doing, whatever their motivation, whether their motivation is actually that they want to make friends or that or just because they love acting or they love doing theatre or they love doing lights or sound or whatever. But in many ways their commitment level's higher because nobody's paying them to do it. They're just rocking up and doing it because they want to do it.
Well, it's not something us tailors have done. We all left school at 14 and got jobs. Well, Linda did after a while once she moved to Melbourne.
Eileen went on.
There's a lot of people
Yes.
that go to a lot of
This is
effort
something I know
to make the productions really stand out. It's a lot of pride in what we do, and we want it to look good, and we really strive for it to look good for the audience. And I think we get good numbers in, so we must be doing something right.
I brought you a movies map. And Ma says you gotta drink it. Someone's gotta drink it. Dr. Grinning says you're much improved. Here, drink this. Oh, thank you.
How long now on the barley water?
Oh, 2 weeks now, Doctor.
Well, I think you can have some solid food now. What would you like, boy?
Well, fish and chips. No, I'll get you some soggy vertebrates and milk.
Good lad, good.
I think it's the word live, you know, because the audience are involved with it as much as the players. I mean, the players may have spent X number of weeks preparing for it, and the crew and so on, all those involved with it. But it's not until you actually get an audience on the first preview or the first night that you have the complete involvement. And as I say, without that live involvement, you know, it isn't a complete form in itself.
I mean, obviously we don't have the same audiences now as 75 years ago, but there's always been a loyalty to Ballarat National Theatre. But yeah, there were people who would never miss a show, no matter what. Yeah, so it's somehow the spirit has gone on for 75 years. I mean, it sounds a bit wussy, but that's what's happened, that, you know, over time there's been a thread of continuity to say, National Theatre, part of our community, let's go and support them. Yeah, you know, and we had the same people always there. That's great.